Good evening and welcome once again to Drunk Shakespeare. We're very happy to present this very special Pirates theme of Two Gentlemen of Verona, guest directed by our very own Chris Turner. Thank you so much for the time and talent. And without any more ado, please enjoy.
Cease to persuade, my loving Proteus. Homekeeping youth have never homely wits. Were it not affection chains like tender days to the sweet glances of thy honored love, I rather would entreat thy company to see the wonders of the world abroad than living dully sluggardized at home. Wear out thy youth with shapeless idleness, but since thou lovest, love still, and therein thrive, even as I would when I do love begin.
Wilt thou be gone? Sweet Valentine, adieu. Think on thy Proteus when thou haply seest some rare, noteworthy object in thy travels. Wish me partaker in thy happiness when thou dost meet good hap, and in thy danger, if ever danger should environ thee, commend thy grievance to my holy prayers.
And on a love book pray for my success?
On some book I love, I'll pray for thee.
That's on some shallow story of deep love. How young Leander crossed the Hellespont.
That's a deep story of a deeper love, for he was more than over shoes in love.
It's true. For you are over boots in love, and yet you never swam the Hellespont.
Over the boots? Nay, give me not the boots.
Oh, I will not, for it boots thee not.
What?
To be in love, where scorn is bought with groans, coy looks with heart-sore sighs, one fading moment's mirth with 20 watchful, weary, tedious nights, if haply won, perhaps a hapless gain. If lost, why then a grievous labor won. However, but a folly bought with wit, or else wit by folly vanquished.
So by your circumstance, you call me fool?
So by your circumstance, I fear you'll prove.
'Tis love you cavil at, I am not love.
Love is your master, for he masters you. And he that is so yoked by a fool, methinks should not be chronicled for wise. But wherefore waste I time to counsel thee? That art a votary to fond desire? Once more, adieu.
And thither will I bring thee, Valentine.
Sweet Proteus, no.
All happiness bechance to thee.
As much to you. Farewell.
He after honour hunts, I after love. He leaves his friends to dignify them more. I leave myself, my friends, and all for love. Thou, Julia, thou hast metamorphosed me, made me lose my time, war with good counsel, set the world at naught, made wit with musing weak, heart sick with fall.
Sir Proteus, save you. Saw you me captain?
But now he parted hence to embark for Port Royal.
Oh, 20 to 1 then. He's shipped already, and I have paid the sheep in losing him.
Indeed, a sheep doth very often stray, and if the shepherd be a while away.
Oh, you conclude that me captain is a shepherd then, and I a sheep?
I do.
Why, then my horns are his horns, whether I wake or sleep.
A silly answer, and fitting well a sheep.
Well, this proves me still a sheep.
True, and your captain a shepherd.
Nay, that I can deny by circumstance.
It shall go hard, but I'll prove it by another.
The shepherd seeks the sheep, and not the sheep the shepherd. But I seek the captain, and the captain seeks not me. Therefore I am no sheep.
The sheep for fodder follow the shepherd for food follows not the sheep. Thou for wages followest thy captain for wages follows not thee. Therefore thou art a sheep.
Such another proof will make me cry, bah!
But dost thou hear? Gavest thou my letter to Julia?
Oi, sir, I a lost mutton give your letter to her, a laced mutton, and she a laced mutton gave me a lost mutton, nothing but for my labour.
Here's too small a pasture for such store of muttons.
If the ground be overcharged, you were best sticker.
Nay, in that you were astray. 'Twere best pound you.
Nay, sir, less than a pound shall serve me for carrying your letter.
You mistake. I mean the pound, a pinfold.
From a pound to pin, folded over and over. 'Tis threefold too little for carrying a letter to your lover.
But what said she?
I,
Nod? I? Why, that's Noddy.
you mistook, sir. I say she did not. She did nod, and you ask me if she did nod, and I say I.
And that set together is Noddy.
Now you've taken the pains to set it together. Take it for your pains.
No, no, you shall have it for bearing the letter.
Well, I perceive I must be fain to bear with you.
Why, sir, how do you bear with me?
Marry, sir, the letter, very orderly, having nothing but the word naughty for my pains.
Beshrew me, but you have a quick wit.
And yet I cannot overtake your slow purse.
Come, come, open the matter in brief. What said she?
Open your purse that the money and the matter may be both at once delivered.
Well, sir, here is for your pains. What said she?
Truly, sir, I think you'll hardly win her.
Why, couldst thou perceive so much from her?
So I could perceive nothing at all from her, no, not so much as a docket for delivering her letter. And being so hard to me that brought your mind, I fear she'll prove as hard to you in telling your mind. Give her no token but stones, for she's as hard as steel.
What said she? Nothing?
No, not so much as take this for thy pains, to testify your bounty. I thank you, you have testerned me. In requital thereof, henceforth, carry your letters yourself. And so, sir, I'll commend you to the captain.
Go, go, be gone, to save your ship from wreck which cannot perish, having thee aboard, being destined to a drier death on shore. I must go send some better messenger. I fear my Julia would not deign my lines, receiving them from such a worthless post.
But say, Lucetta, now we are alone, wouldst thou then counsel me to fall in love?
Hi, madam. So you stumble not unheedfully.
Of all the fair resort of gentlemen that every day with pale encounter me, in thy opinion, which is the worthiest love?
Please, you repeat their names. I'll show my mind.
What thinkest thou of the fair Thorio?
As of a sailor, well spoken, neat and fine, but were I you, he never should be mine.
What thinkest thou of the rich Mercatio?
Well, of his wealth, but of himself, so.
What thinkest thou of the gentle Proteus?
Lord, to see what folly reigns in us.
Oh, how now? What means this passionate his name?
Pardon, dear madam, 'tis a passing shame that I, unworthy body as I am, should censure thus on lovely gentlemen.
Why not on Proteus as of all the rest?
Then thus of many good, I think him best.
Your reason?
I have no other but a woman's reason. I think him so because I think him so.
And wouldst thou have me cast my love on him?
Aye, if you thought your love not cast away.
Why, he of all the rest hath never moved me.
He of all the rest, I think, best loves you.
His little speaking shows his love but small.
Fire that's closest kept burns most of all.
They do not love that do not show their love.
Oh, they love least that let men know their love.
Oh, I know his mind.
Peruse this paper, madam.
To Julia. Say from whom?
That the contents will show.
Say who gave it thee.
Valentine's man, and sent, I think, from Proteus. He would have given it to you, but I, being in the way, did in your name receive it. Pardon the fault, I pray.
Now by my modesty, goodly broker, dare you presume to harbor wanton lies, to whisper and conspire against my youth? Now trust me, 'tis an office of great worth, and you an officer fit for the place. There, take the paper, see it returned, or else return no more into my sight.
To plead for love deserves more fee than hate.
Will you be gone?
That you may ruminate.
And yet, I would I had o'erlooked the letter. Were shame to call her back again and pray her to a fault for which I tried her. Oh, what fool is she that knows I'm a maid and would not force the letter to my view, since maids in modesty must say no to that, which they would have prefer construe I. Fie, how wayward is this foolish love that like a tasty babe will scratch the nurse and presently, all humbled, kiss the rod. Oh, how churlishly I would have had her here. I chid Lucetta hints when willingly I would have had her here. Oh, how angrily I taught my brow to frown when inward joy enforced my heart to smile. Oh, my penance is to call Lucetta back. Oh, and ask remission for the folly past. Oh, what ho, Lucetta?
What would your ladyship?
Dinner time.
I would it were, that you might kill your stomach on your meat and not upon your maid.
What is that you took up so gingerly?
Nothing.
Why didst thou stoop then?
To take a paper up that I let fall.
And is that paper nothing?
Nothing concerning me.
Then let it lie for those that it concerns.
Madam, it will not lie where it concerns unless it have a false interpreter.
Some love of yours hath writ to you in rhyme.
That I might sing it, madam, to a tune, give me a note, your ladyship consent.
As little by such toys as may be possible. Best sing it to the tune of Light a Love.
It's too heavy for so light a tune.
Heavy? Belike it hath some burden then.
Aye, and melodious were it, would you sing it?
And why not you?
I cannot sing so high.
Let's see a song. How now, minion?
Keep tune there still, so you will sing it out, and yet methinks I do not like this tune.
You do not.
No, madam, 'tis too sharp.
You, minion, are too saucy.
Nay, now you are too flat, and mar the concord with too harsh a descant. There wanteth but a mean to fill your song.
The mean is drowned with your unruly bass.
Indeed, I bid the bass for Proteus.
This babble shall not henceforth trouble me. Here is a coil with protestation. Lucetta, go get you gone, and let the papers nigh. You would be fingering them to anger me.
She makes it strange, but she would be best pleased to be so angered with another letter.
Nay, would I was so angered with the same. Oh, hateful hands to tear such loving words, injurious wasps to feed on such sweet honey, and kill the bees that yield it with your stings. Oh, kiss each several paper for amends. Look, here is writ, kind Julia, unkind Julia, as in revenge of thy ingratitude, I throw thy name against the bruising stones, trampling contemptuously on thy disdain. And here is writ, love wounded Proteus. Oh, poor wounded name. My bosom as a bed shall lodge thee till thy wound be thoroughly healed, and thus I search it was a sovereign kiss. But twice or thrice was Proteus written down. Be calm, good wind, blow not a word away till I have found each letter in the letter, except my own name. Let some whirlwind bear until a ragged, fearful, hanging rock and throw it thus into the raging sea. Oh, lo, hear it. One line is his name twice writ. Poor, forlorn Proteus, passionate Proteus to the sweet Julia. Oh, that I'll tear away, and yet I will not sit so prettily. He couples it to this complaining names. Thus will I fold them one upon another. Now kiss, embrace, contend, and that what do what you will.
Sweet love, sweet lines, sweet life. Here is her hand, the agent of her heart. Here is her oath for love, her honours pawn. Oh, that our fathers would applaud our loves and seal our happiness with their consents. Oh, heavenly Julia. I am called to Port Royal. I have shunned the fire for fear of burning and drenched me in the sea where I am drowned. There I shall spend some time with Valentine. Tomorrow I must be ready to go. Oh, how this spring of love resembleth the uncertain glory of an April day, which now shows all the beauty of the sun, and by a cloud takes all away.
Sir, your glove?
Not mine. My gloves are on.
Why, then this must be yours, for this is but one.
Huh? Let me see. Give it me. It's mine. Sweet ornament that decks a thing divine. Sylvia. Sylvia.
Madam Sylvia. Madam Sylvia!
How now, Sirrah?
She is not within hearing, sir.
Who bade you call her?
You, sir, or else I must talk.
Well, you'll still be too forward.
And yet I was last chidden for being too slow.
Go to, sir. Tell me, do you know Madam Sylvia?
Oh, she that you love?
How know you that I am in love?
Married by these special marks. First, you have learned, like Quartermaster Proteus, to reef your arms like malcontent, to relish a long song like a robin red breast, to walk alone like one that has pestilence, to sigh like a schoolboy that had lost his ABC, to weep like a young wench that had buried her grandam, to fast like one that takes diet, to watch like one that fears robbing, to speak puling like a beggar at Hollowsmith. You were wont when you were laughed to crow like a cock, when you walked to walk the line one of lions. When you fasted, it was presently after dinner. When you looked sadly, it was for want of money. And now here you are, metamorphized with a mistress. And when I look on you, I can only think you my master.
Are all these things perceived in me?
They all perceive without you.
Without me? They cannot.
Without you? Nay, that's certain. For without you, you were simple. None else would. But you are so without these follies that these follies are within you and shine through you like the water in the urinal, not that an eye that sees you, but is a physician to comment on your malady.
But tell me, dost thou know my lady Sylvia?
She that you gaze on so that she sits at supper?
Hast thou observed that? Even she, I mean.
Or, sir, I know her not.
Dost thou know her by my gazing on her, and yet now knowest not?
Is she not hard favored, sir?
Not so fair as well favored.
So I know that well enough.
What dost thou know?
That she is not so fair as you well favored.
I mean that her beauty is exquisite, but her favor infinite.
That's because one is painted and the other is out of all count.
How painted and how out of count?
Marry, sir, so painted to make her fair that no man counts of her beauty.
How esteemest thou me? I account of her beauty.
You never saw her since she was deformed.
How long has she been deformed?
Ever since you loved her?
I have loved her ever since I saw her, and still I see her beautiful.
If you love her, you cannot see her,
Why?
because love is blind. Oh, that you had mine eyes, or your own eyes had the lights that they were wont to have when you cheat at Sir Proteus for going unguarded.
Should I see then?
Your own present folly and her passing deformity, for he, being in love, could not see to garter his hose, and you, being in love, cannot see to put on your hose.
Belike then you are in love, for last morning you could not see to wipe my shoes.
True, sir, I was in love with my bed. Well, thank you for you swinged me for my love, which makes me the bolder to charge you for yours.
In conclusion, I stand affected to her.
Or would you were set to your affection would seize.
Last night she enjoined me to write some lines to one she loves.
And have you?
I have.
Are they not lamely writ?
No, but as well as I can do them. Peace, here she comes.
Oh, excellent motion. Oh, seating puppet. Now he will interpret to her.
Madam and mistress, 1,000 good morrows.
Oh, give ye good even. Here's a million of matters.
Ha, Captain Valentine and first mate, you 2,000.
He shall give her interest and she gives it to him.
As you enjoined me, I have writ your letter unto the secret nameless friend of yours, which I was much unwilling to proceed in, but for my duty to you.
I thank you, gentle servant. 'Tis very clerkly done.
And now trust me, madam, it came hardly off, for being ignorant to whom it goes, I writ at random, very doubtfully.
Perchance you think too much of so much pains.
No, madam, so instead you I will write. Please, you command 1,000 times as much, and yet I...
A pretty period. Well, I guess the sequel, and yet I will not name it, and yet I care not. And yet take this again. And yet I thank you, meaning henceforth to trouble you no more.
And yet you will, and yet another yet.
What means you? Do you not like it?
Yes, the lines are very quaintly writ, but since unwillingly, take them again. Nay, take them.
Madam, they are for you.
You writ them, sir, at my request, but I will have none of them. They are for you. I would have had them writ more movingly.
Please, thank you. I'll write you another.
And when it's writ for my sake, read it over, and if you please so, if not, why so?
If it please me, what then?
Why, if it please you, take it for your labor. And good morrow.
Oh, just unseen, inscrutable, invisible as a nose on a man's face or weathercock on a steeple. The captain sues to her, and she hath taught her suitor, he being her pupil to become her tutor. Oh, excellent a voice. Was there ever heard a better? That my captain, being scribe to himself, should write a letter?
How now, sir? What, are you reasoning with yourself?
Nay, I was rhyming. 'Tis you that have the reason.
To do what?
To be a spokesman from Madam Sylvia.
To whom?
To yourself. Why, she woos you by her trick.
What trick?
By a letter, I should say.
Why, she hath not writ to me.
What need she when she hath made you write to yourself? Why do you not perceive the jest?
No, believe me.
No believing you indeed, sir, but did you perceive her in earnest?
She gave me none except an angry word.
Why, she hath given you a letter,
That's the letter I writ to a friend.
and the letter hath she delivered, and there an end.
I would it were no worse.
I warn you, 'tis as well. For often have you writ to her, and she in modesty, or else for want of idle time, could not again reply, or fearing else some messenger that might her mind discover herself, hath taught her love himself to write unto her lover. All this I speak in print, for in print I found it. Why miss you, Captain? 'Tis dinner time.
I have dined.
Oi, but hearken, Captain. Though the chameleon love can feed on air, I am one that am nourished by my victuals and would fain have meat.
Have patience, gentle Julia.
I must. There is no remedy.
When possibly I can, I will return.
If you turn not, you will return the sooner. Keep this remembrance for thy Julia's sake.
Why then we'll make exchange. Here, take you this.
And seal the bargain with a holy kiss.
Here is my hand for my true constancy. And when that hour o'erslips me in the day, wherein I sigh not, Julia, for thy sake, the next ensuing hour some foul mischance torment me for my love's forgetfulness. My father stays my coming, answer not, the tide is now. Nay, not thy tide of tears, that tide will stay me longer than I should. Julia, farewell. What, gone without a word? Aye, so true love should do. It cannot speak, for truth hath better deeds than words to grace it.
Proteus, you are stayed for.
Go, I come, I come. Alas, this parting strikes poor lovers dumb.
Nay, 'twill be this hour ere I have done weeping. All the kind of the lances have this very fault. I have received my proportion like the prodigious sun, and I'm going with Proteus to the pirate king's court. I think Crab, my dog, be the sourest natured dog that lives. My mother weeping, my father wailing, my sister crying, our maid howling, our cat wringing her hands, and all our house in a great perplexity. Yet did not this cruel-hearted cur shed one tear. He is a stone, a very pibble stone, and has no more pity in him than a dog. Why, my grandam have me no eyes, look you. Wept herself blind at my parting. Nay, I'll show you the manner of it. This Jew is my father. No, this left shoe is my father. No, this left shoe is my mother. Nay, that can't not be so neither. Yes, it is so. It hath the worser soul. This shoe with the hole in it is my mother, and this is my father. A vengeance on it, there 'tis. Now, sir, this staff is my sister. She is as white as a lily and as small as a wand. This is Nan, our maid. I am the dog. No, the dog is himself, and I am the dog. Oh, the dog is me, and I am myself. Aye, so. Now, I come to my father. Father, your blessing. Now, should not the shoe speak a word for weeping? Now, I should kiss my father. Well, he weeps on. Now I come to my mother. Oh, that she could speak like a old woman. Well, I kiss her. Why, there it is. Here's my mother's breath up and down. Now, I come to my sister. Mark the moans she makes. Now the dog all this while sheds not a tear nor speaks a word. But here I levy the dust with my tears.
Lads, away! Away! Aboard! Thy captain is shipped, and thou art to post after with oars. Oh, what's the matter? Why weepest thou, man? Oh, away, ass! You'll lose the tide if you tarry any longer.
It is no matter if the tide were lost, for it is the unkindest tide that ever any man tied.
What's the unkindest tide?
Why, he's that tides here. Crab, my dog.
Ugh, tat man. I mean, thou'll lose the flood, and in losing the flood, lose thy voyage. And in losing thy voyage, lose thy master. And in losing thy master, lose thy service. And in losing thy service, why dost thou stop my mouth?
For fear thou shouldest lose thy tongue.
Why should I loose my tongue?
In thy tail.
In thy tail?
Lose the tide, and the voyage, and the master, and the service, and the tide. Why, man, if the river were dry, I am able to fill it with my tears. If the wind were down, I could drive the boat with my sighs.
Oh, come away, man. I was sent to call thee.
Sir, call me what thou darest.
Wilt thou go?
Well, I will go.
Servant,
Mistress.
Captain, Thurio frowns on you.
Aye, it is for love.
Not of you.
My mistress, then.
'Twere good you knocked him.
servant, you are sad.
Indeed, madam, I seem so.
Seem you that you are not?
Happily, I do.
So do counterfeits.
So do you.
What seem I that I am not?
Wise.
What instance of the contrary?
Your folly.
And how quote you my folly?
I quoted in your jerkin.
My jerkin is a doublet.
Well, then I'll double your folly.
How?
What? Angry? Captain Thurio? Do you change color?
Give him leave, madam. He is a kind of chameleon.
That hath more mind to feed on your blood than live in your air.
You have said.
Aye, matey, am done too for this time.
I know it well. You always end ere you begin.
A fine volley of words, gentle men, and quickly show off.
'Tis indeed, madam. We thank the giver.
Who is that, servant?
Yourself, sweet lady, for you gave the fire. Captain Thurio borrows his wit from your ladyship's looks and spends what he borrows kindly in your company.
Oh, if you spend word for word with me, I shall make your wit bankrupt.
I know it well, sir. You have an exchequer of words, and I think no other treasure to give your followers, for it appears by their bare liveries that they live by your bare words.
No more, gentlemen, no more. Here comes my father.
Now, daughter Sylvia, you are hard beset. Captain Valentine, what say you to a letter from your friends of much good news?
My lord, I will be thankful to any happy messenger from thence.
Know you Proteus, Captain of Milan?
Ay, my good lord, I know the gentleman to be of worth and worthy estimation, and not without desert so well reputed.
You know him well.
I know him as myself, for from our infancy we have conversed and spent our hours together, and though myself I have been an idle truant, omitting the sweet benefit of time to clothe mine age with angel-like perfection, yet hath Proteus made use and fair advantage of his days. His years but young, but his experience old. His head unmellowed, but his judgment ripe. And in a word, for far behind his worth comes all the praises that I now bestow. He is complete in feature and in mind, with all good grace to grace a captain.
Well, this man is come to me with commendation from great potentates, and here he means to spend his time a while. I think 'tis no unwelcome news to you.
Should I have wished a thing, it had been he.
Welcome him then according to his worth. So, I speak to you, and you, Sir Thurio. For Valentine, I need not cite him to it. I will send him hither to you presently.
This is the gentleman I told your ladyship had sailed along with me, but that his mistress did hold his eyes locked in her crystal looks.
Be like that now. She hath enfranchised them upon some other pawn for fealty.
Hey, sure, I think she holds them prisoners still.
Nay, then, he should be blind, and being blind, how could he see his way to seek out you?
Why, lady, love hath 20 pairs of eyes.
They say that love hath not an eye at all.
See such lovers, Thurio, as yourself. Upon a homely object, love can wink.
Have done, have done. Here comes the gentleman.
Proteus, welcome. Mistress, I beseech you, confirm his welcome with some special favor.
His worth is warrant for his welcome hither, if this be he you oft have wished to hear from.
Mistress, it is. Sweet lady, entertain him to be my fellow servant to your ladyship.
Too low a mistress for so high a servant.
Not so, sweet lady, but too mean a servant to have a look of such a worthy mistress.
Leave off discourse of disability. Sweet lady, entertain him for your servant.
My duty will I boast of, nothing else.
What my and duty never yet want his need. Servant, you are welcome to a worthless mistress.
I'll die on him that says so but yourself.
That you are welcome?
That you are worthless.
Come, Sir Thurio. Go with me. Once more, new servant. Welcome. I'll leave you to confer of home affairs. When you have done, we look forward to hearing from you.
We'll both attend upon your ladyship.
Now tell me, how do all from hence you came?
Your friends are well and have them much commended.
And how do yours?
I left them all in health.
How does your lady, and how thrives your love?
My tales of love were wont to weary you. I know you joy not in a love discourse.
Aye, Proteus, but that is life altered now. I have done penance for contemning love, whose high imperious thoughts have punished me with bitter fasts, with penitential groans, with nightly tears and daily heart-sore sighs. For in revenge of my contempt of love, love hath chased sleep from my enthralled eyes, made them watchers of mine own heart's sorrow. Gentle Proteus, love's a mighty lord, and hath so humbled me, as I confess, there is no woe to his correction, nor to his service no such joy on earth. Now, no discourse except it be of love. Now I can break my fast, dine, sup, and sleep upon the very naked name of love.
Enough. I read your fortune in your eye. Was this the idol that you worship so?
Even she. And is she not a heavenly saint?
No, but she is an earthly paragon.
Call her divine.
I will not flatter her.
Oh, flatter me, for love delights and praises.
When I was sick, you gave me bitter pills, and I must minister the like to you.
Then speak the truth by her. If not divine, yet let her be by a principality, sovereign to all the creatures on earth.
Except my mistress.
Sweet, accept not any, except thou wilt accept against my love.
Have I not reason to prefer mine own?
And I will help thee to prefer her too. And she will be dignified with this high honor, to bear my lady's train, lest the base earth should from her vesture chance to steal a kiss, and so of greater favor growing proud, disdain to root the summer swelling flower, and make rough winter everlasting.
Why, Valentine, what braggardism is this?
Pardon me, Proteus, all I can is nothing to her whose worth makes other worthies nothing. She is alone.
Then let her alone.
Not for the world. Why, man, she is mine own, and I as rich in having such a jewel as 20 seas, if all their sand were pearl, the water nectar, and the rocks pure gold. Forgive me that I do not dream on thee, because thou seest me dote upon my love. My foolish rival that her father likes only for his possessions are so huge, is gone with her along, and I must after, for love, thou knowest, is full of jealousy.
But she loves you.
Aye, and we are betrothed. Nay, more, our marriage hour. With all the cunning manner of our flight, determined of how I must climb her window, the ladder made of cords, all the means plotted and greed on for my happiness. Good Proteus, go with me to my chamber in these affairs to aid me with thy counsel.
Go on before I shall inquire you forth. I must unto the road to disembark some necessaries that I needs must use, and then I'll presently attend you.
Will you make haste?
I will. Even as one heat another heat expels, or as one nail by strength drives out another, so the remembrance of my former love is by a newer object quite forgotten. Is it mine eye or Valentine's praise, her true perfection or my false transgression that makes me reasonless to reason thus? She is fair, and so is Julia that I love, that I did love. For now my love is thawed, which like a waxen image gainst a fire bears no impression of the thing it was. Methinks my zeal to Valentine is cold, and that I love him not as I was wont. Oh, but I love his lady too much. And that's the reason I love him so little. How shall I dote on her with more advice, that thus without advice begin to love her? 'Tis but her picture I have yet beheld, and that hath dazzled my reason's light. But when I look on her perfections, there is no reason but I shall be blind. If I can check my erring love, I will. If not, to compass her, I'll use my skill.
Lance! Lance! By mine honesty, welcome to Port Royal!
Forswear not thyself, lady, for I am not welcome. I reckon this always, that a man is never undone till he be hanged, nor never welcome to a place till some certain shot be paid, and the hostess say welcome.
Come, you madcap, out to the rum house with you presently, where for one shot of 5 pence thou shalt have 5,000 welcomes. But sirrah, how did thy master part with Madam Julia?
Mary, after they closed in earnest, they parted very fairly in jest.
Well, shall she marry him?
No,
How then? Shall she marry her?
no, neither.
What, are they broken?
No, they are both as whole as a fish.
Well then, how stands the matter with them?
Marry thus. When it stands with him, it stands well with her.
What an arse art thou? I understand thee not.
What a block art thou that thou canst not? My staff understands me.
What thou sayest?
I, and what I do too. Look thee, all but lean, and my staff understands me.
It stands under thee indeed.
Why, stand under and understand is all one.
But tell me true, will it be a match?
That's my dog. If you say I, it will. If you say no, it will not. If you shake his tail and say nothing, it will.
The conclusion is then that it will.
Thou shalt never get such a secret from me, but by a parable.
'Tis well that I get it so. But Lance, how sayest thou that me captain has become a notable lover?
I never knew him otherwise.
Then how?
A notable lover, as thou
Yeah.
reportedst him to be.
Thou horse and arse, thou makest me.
Why, fool, I meant not thee. I meant thy captain.
I tell thee, me captain has become a hot lover.
Why, I tell thee, I care not though he bum himself in love. If thou wilt, go with me to the rum house,
Why?
because thou hast not so much charity in thee as to go to the rum with an Englishman. Wilt thou go?
At their service.
To leave my Julia, shall I be forsworn? To love fair Sylvia, shall I be forsworn? To wrong my friend, I shall be much forsworn. And even that power which gave me first my oath, and provokes me to this threefold perjury. Love bade me swear, and love bids me forswear. Oh, sweet suggesting love, if thou hast sinned, teach me thy tempted subject to excuse it. At first I did adore a twinkling star, but now I worship a celestial sun. Unheedful vows may heedfully be broken, And he wants wit that wants resolved will, to learn his wit to exchange the bad for better. Fie, unreverend tongue, to call her bad, whose sovereignty so oft thou hast preferred with 20,000 soul-confirming oaths. I cannot leave to love, and yet I do. But there I leave to love, where I should love. Julia I lose, Valentine I lose. If I keep them, I needs must lose myself. If I lose them, thus find I by their loss, for Valentine myself, for Julia Sylvia. I to myself am dearer than a friend, for love is still most precious in itself. And Sylvia, witness heaven that made her fair, shows Julia but a pale and pasty girl. I will forget that Julia is alive, remembering that my love to her is dead. And Valentine I'll hold an enemy, aiming at Sylvia as a sweeter friend. I cannot now prove constant to myself without some treachery used to Valentine. This night he meaneth with a corded ladder to climb celestial Sylvia's chamber window, myself in counsel his competitor. Now presently I'll give her father notice of their disguising and pretended flight, who, all enraged, will banish Valentine, for Thurio he intends shall wed his daughter, but Valentine being gone, I'll quickly cross by some sly trick blunt Thurio's dull proceeding. Love, lend me wings to make my purpose swift, as thou hast lent me wit to plot this drift.
Counsel, Lucetta, gentle girl, assist me, and even in kind love I do conjure thee, who art the table wherein all my thoughts are visibly characterized and engraved, to lesson me and tell me some good mean, how with my honor I may undertake a journey to my loving Proteus.
Alas, the way is wearisome and long.
A true devoted pilgrim is not weary to measure kingdoms with his feeble steps, much less shall she that hath love's wings to fly, and when the flight is made to one so dear, of such divine perfection as Sir Proteus.
Better forbear till Proteus make return.
Oh, knowest thou not his looks are my soul's food? Oh, pity the death that I have pined in my longing for that food for so long a time. Didst thou but know the inly touch of love, thou wouldst as soon go kindle fire with snow as seek to quench the fire of love with words.
I do not seek to quench your love's hot fire, but qualify the fire's extreme rage, lest it should burn above the bounds of reason.
The more thou dampst it up, the more it burns. On the current that with gentle murmur glides, thou knowest, being stopped, impatiently doth rage, but when his fair course is not hindered, he makes sweet music with the enameled stones, now giving a gentle kiss to every sedge overtaketh in his pilgrimage. And so by many winding nooks he strays with willing sport to the wild ocean. Then let me go and hinder not my course. I'll be as patient as a gentle stream. Make a pastime of each weary step, to the last step have brought me to my love, and there I'll rest as after much turmoil a blessed soul doth in Elysium.
But in what habit will you go along?
Oh, not like a woman, for I would prevent the loose encounters of lascivious men. Gentle Lucetta, fit me with such weeds as may beseem some well-reputed deckhands.
Why then your ladyship must cut your hair.
Oh no, girl, I'll knit it up in silken strings with 20-odd conceited true love knots. Oh, to be fantastic may become a youth of greater time than I shall show to be.
What fashion, madam, shall I make your breeches?
That fits as well as Tell me, good my lord, what compass will you wear your farthingale? Why, even what fashion thou best likes, Lucetta.
You must needs have them with the codpiece, madam.
Out, Lucetta, that will be ill-favored.
A round hose, madam. Now's not worth a pin unless you have a codpiece to stick pins in.
Oh, Lucetta, as thou lovest me, let me have what thou thinkst meet and is most mannerly. Oh, but tell me, wench, how will the world repute me for undertaking so unstaid a journey? I fear me it will make me scandalized.
If you think so, then stay at home and go not.
Nay, none I will not.
Then never dream of infamy, but go. If Proteus like your journey when you come, no matter who's displeased when you are gone, I fear me he will scarce be pleased withal.
That is the least, Lucetta, of my fear. 1,000 oaths, an ocean of his tears, and instances of infinite of love warrants me welcome to my Proteus.
All these are servants to deceitful men.
Base men that use them to be so base to effect, but true as stars did govern Proteus's birth. His words are bonds, his oaths are oracles, his love sincere, his thoughts immaculate, his tears pure messengers sent from his heart as far from fraud as heaven from earth.
Pray heaven he prove so when you come to him.
Now, as thou lovest me, do him not that wrong to bear a hard opinion for his truth. Only deserve my love by loving him. And presently, go with me to my chamber to take a note of what I stand in need of, to furnish me upon my long journey. All that is mine, I leave at thy dispose, my goods, my lands, my reputation. Only in lieu thereof, dispatch me hence. Come, answer not, but to it presently. I am impatient of my tyrants.
Tell me, Proteus, what's your will with me?
My gracious lord, that which I would discover, the law of friendship bids me to conceal. But when I call to mind your gracious favours done to me, undeserving as I am, my duty pricks me on to utter that which no worldly good should draw from me. No, worthy king, Captain Valentine, my friend, this night intends to steal away your daughter. Myself am one made privy to the plot. I know you have determined to bestow her on Turio, whom your gentle daughter hates, and should she thus be stolen away from you, it would be much vexation to your age. Thus, for my duty's sake, I rather choose to cross my friend in his intended drift than by concealing it heap on your head a pack of sorrows which would press you down, being unprevented, to your timeless grave.
Proteus, I thank you. Thank thee for thine honest care, which to requite command me while I live. This love of theirs myself have often seen, haply when they have judged me fast asleep, and oftentimes have purposed to forbid this Valentine her company and my court, but fearing lest my jealous aim might err, and so unworthily disgrace the man. A rashness that I ever yet have shunned. I gave him gentle looks, thereby to find that which thyself hast now disclosed to me, and that thou mayst perceive my fear of this, knowing that tender youth is soon suggested. I nightly lodge her in an upper tower, the key whereof myself have ever kept, and thence she cannot be conveyed away.
No, noble lord, they have devised a mean, how he her chamber window will ascend, and with a corded ladder fetch her down, for which the youthful lover now is gone, and this way comes he with it presently, where, if it please you, you may intercept it. But, good my lord, Do it so cunningly that my discovery be not aimed at. For love of you, not hate unto my friend, hath made me publisher of this pretence.
Upon mine honor, he shall never know that I had any light from thee of this.
Adieu, my lord. Valentine is coming.
Captain Valentine, whither away so fast?
Please it your grace, there is a messenger that stays to bear my letters to my friends, and I am going to deliver them.
Be they of much import?
The tenor of them doth but signify my health and happy being at your court.
Nay then, no matter. Stay with me a while. I am to break with thee of some affairs that touch me near, wherein thou must be secret. 'Tis not unknown to thee that I have sought to match my friend, Captain Thurio, to my daughter.
I know it well, my lord, and sure the match were rich and honorable. Besides, the gentleman is full of virtue, bounty, worth, and qualities beseeming such a wife as your fair daughter. Cannot your grace win to fancy him?
No. Trust me, she is peevish, sullen, froward, proud, disobedient, stubborn, lacking duty, neither regarding that she is my child, nor fearing me as if I were her father. And may I say to thee, this pride of hers upon advice hath drawn my love from her. And where I thought the remnant of mine age should have been cherished by her childlike duty, I am now full resolved to take a wife and turn her out to who will take her in. Then let her beauty be her wedding dower. For me and my possessions she esteems not.
What would your grace have me do in this?
There's a lady in Port Royal here whom I affect. But she's nice and coy, and naught esteems my aged eloquence. Now, therefore, would I have thee to my tutor. For long agone I have forgot to court. Besides, the fashion of the time is changed. How and which way I may bestow myself to be regarded in her sunbright eye.
Win her with gifts if she respects not words. Dumb jewels, often in their silent kind, more than quick words, do move a woman's mind.
But she did scorn a present that I sent her.
A woman sometimes scorns what best contents her. Send her another. Never give her over. For scorn at first makes after the love the more. If she do frown, 'tis not in hate of you, but rather to beget more love in you. If she do chide, 'tis not to have you gone, for why the fools are mad if left alone. Take no repulse, whatever she doth say. For get you gone, she doth not mean away. Flatter and praise, commend, extol their graces, though ne'er so black, say they have angels' faces. That man that hath tongue, I say, is no man if with his tongue he cannot win a woman.
But she, is promised by her friends unto a gentleman of worth, and kept severely from resort of men, that no man hath access by day to her.
Why, then I would resort to her by night.
Aye, but the doors be locked and keys kept safe, that no man hath recourse to her by night.
What lets but one may enter at her window?
Her chamber is aloft, far up from the ground, and built so shelving that one cannot climb it without apparent hazard of his life.
Why then a ladder quaintly made of cords to cast up, with a pair of anchoring hooks would serve to scale another hero's tower, so bold Leander would adventure it.
Now, as thou art a gentleman of blood, advise me where I may have such a ladder.
When would you use it? Pray, sir, tell me that.
This very night. For love is like a child that longs for everything that he cannot come by.
By 7 o'clock, I'll get you such a ladder.
But hark thee, I will go to her alone. How shall I best convey the ladder thither?
It will be light, my lord, that you may bear it under a cloak that is of any length.
Oh, a cloak as long as thine will serve the turn.
Aye, my good lord.
Then let me see thy cloak. I'll get me one of such another length.
Why, any cloak will serve the turn, my lord.
How shall I fashion me to wear a cloak? I pray thee, let me feel thy cloak upon me. What letter is the same? What's here? To Sylvia. And here an engine fit for my proceeding. I'll be so bold to break the seal for once. My thoughts to harbor with my Sylvia nightly. And slaves they are to me that send them flying. Oh, could their master come and go as lightly? Himself would lodge where? Oh, senseless they are lying. My herald thoughts in thy pure bosom, rest them, while I, their king, that thither them importune, do curse the grace that with such grace hath blessed them, because myself do want my servants' fortune. I curse myself, for they are sent by me, that they should harbor where their lord should be. What's here? Sylvia, this night I will enfranchise thee. 'Tis so. And here's the ladder for the purpose. I fated, for thou art Merob's son. Wilt thou aspire to guide the heavenly car, and with thy daring folly burn the world? Wilt thou reach stars because they shine on thee? Go, base intruder, o'erweening slave, bestow thy fawning smiles on equal mate. Think my patience more than thy desert is privilege for thy departure hence. Thank me for this more than for all the favors which all too much I have bestowed on thee. But if thou linger in my territories longer than swiftest expedition will give thee time to leave our royal court, by heaven, my wrath shall far exceed the love I ever bore my daughter or thyself. Begone! I will not hear thy vain excuse, but as thou lovest thy life, make speed from hence.
Why not death, rather than living torment? To die is to be banished from myself. Sylvia is myself. Banished from her is self from self, a deadly banishment. What light is light if Sylvia be not by? What joy is joy if Sylvia be not seen? Unless it is to be think that she is by and feed upon the shadow of perfection. Except I be by Sylvia in the night, there is no music in the nightingale. Unless I look on Sylvia in the day, there is no day for me to look upon. She is my essence, and I leave to be, if I be not by her fair influence fostered, illumined, cherished, kept alive. I fly not death to fly his deadly doom. Tarry I here, but I but attend on death. Fly I hence, I fly away from life.
Run, boy. Run, run and seek him out.
Soho, Soho,
What seest thou?
him we go find. There's not a hair on his head, but 'tis a Valentine.
Valentine?
No,
Who then? His spirit?
neither,
What then?
nothing.
Can nothing speak? Master, shall I strike?
Who wouldst thou strike?
Nothing.
Villain, forbear.
Why, sir, I'll strike nothing. I pray you.
Sirrah, I say forbear. Friend Valentine, a word.
The ears are stopped and cannot hear good news. So much of bad already hath possessed them.
Then in dumb silence will I bury mine, for they are harsh, untunable, and bad.
Sylvia dead?
No Valentine.
No Valentine indeed for sacred Sylvia. Has she forsworn me?
No Valentine.
No Valentine if Sylvia hath forsworn me. What is your news?
Sir, there is a proclamation that you are vanished.
That thou art banished. Oh, that's the news. From hence, from Sylvia, and from me, thy friend.
Oh, I have fed upon this woe already, and now excess of it will make me suffer it. Does Sylvia know I am banished?
Aye, and she hath offered to the doom, which unreversed stands in effectual force, a sea of melting pearl, which some call tears. Those at her father's churlish feet she tendered, with them upon her knees, her humble self, wringing her hands, whose whiteness so became them, as if but now they waxed pale for woe. But neither bended knees, pure hands held up, sad sighs, deep groans, nor silver shedding tears could penetrate her uncompassionate sire. But Valentine, if he be ta'en, must die. Besides, her intercession chafed him so, when she for thy repeal was suppliant, that to close prison he commanded her, with many bitter threats abiding there.
No more, unless the next word that thou speakest have some malignant power upon my life. If so, I pray thee breathe it in mine ear, an ending anthem and endless odor.
Cease to lament for that which thou canst not help, and study help for that which thou lament'st. Time is the nurse and breeder of all good. Here, if thou stay, thou canst not see thy love. Besides, thy staying will abridge thy life. Hope is a lover's staff. Walk hence with that, and manage it against despairing thoughts. Thy letters may be here, though thou art hence, which being writ to me shall be delivered, even in the milk-white bosom of thy love. Time now serves not to expostulate. Come, I'll convey thee to thy ship, and ere I part with thee, confer at large of all that may concern thy love affairs. As thou loved Sylvia, though not for thyself, regard thy danger and along with me.
Pray thee, Lance, and if thou seest my first mate, bid him haste and meet me at the North Dock.
Go, Sirrah, find him out. Come, Valentine.
dear Sylvia. Hapless Valentine.
I am but a fool, look you, and yet I have the wit to think my master is a kind of knave, and that's all how one if he but be one knave. He lives not now that knows me to be in love, yet I am in love. But a team of horse shall not pluck that from me, nor who 'tis I love. Yet 'tis a woman, and what woman I will not tell myself. And yet 'tis a milkmaid, yet 'tis not a maid, for she hath had gossips. Yet 'tis a maid, for she is her master's maid, and serves for wages. She hath more qualities than a water spaniel, which is much in a bare Christian. Here is a catalogue of her condition. In primus, she can fetch and carry. Why, a horse can do no more. Nay, a horse can fetch, but only carry. Therefore, she is better than a jade. Item, she can milk. You, a sweet virtue in a maid with clean hands.
Oh no, Senor Lance. What's news with your mastership?
Why, with my master's ship? Why, it is at sea.
Well, your old voice still mistake the word. What news then in your paper?
The blackest news that ever thou heardst.
Why, man, how black?
Why, as black as ink.
Let me read then.
Fie on thee, jolthead. Thou canst not read.
Oh, thou liest, I can.
I will try thee. Tell me this. Who begot thee?
Mary, the son of my grandfather.
Oh, illiterate loiterer. It was the son of thy grandmother. This proves that thou canst not read.
Come, fool, come. Try me in thy paper.
There, and St. Nicholas be thy speed.
In primis, oh, she can milk.
Why, that she can,
Oidum, she brews good ale.
and therefore comes the proverb. Blessing of your heart, you brew good ale.
Oidum, she can sew.
That's as much to say, can she sew?
Oidum, she can knit.
What need a man care for a stock with a wench when she can knit him a stock?
Oidum, she can wash and scour.
A special virtue, for then she need not be washed and scoured.
Oidum, she can spin.
Then may I set the world on wheels when she can spin for with living.
Oidum, she hath many nameless virtues.
That's as much to say bastard virtues, that indeed not know not their fathers, and therefore have no names.
Here follow her vices.
Post at the heels of her virtues.
Oidum, she is not to be kissed, fasting in respect of her breath.
Well, that fault may be mended with a breakfast.
Oidum,
Read her on.
Oidum, she hath a sweet mouth.
That makes amends for her sour breath.
Oidum, she doth talk in her sleep.
It's no matter for that. So she sleep not in her talk.
Oidum, she is slow in her words.
Oh, villain! That sets us down among her vices. To be slow in words is a woman's only virtue. I pray thee, out with it, and place it for her chief virtue.
Oidum, she is proud.
Out with that too. It was Eve's legacy and cannot be taken from her.
Item, she hath no teeth.
I care not for that neither, because I love Cress.
Item, she is cursed.
Well, the best is, she hath no teeth to bite.
Item, she will often praise her liquor.
If her liquor be good, she shall. If she will not, I will. But good things should be praised.
Oh, item, she is too liberal.
Other tongues she cannot, for that's writ down, she is slow of. Of her purse she shall not, for that I'll keep shut. Now of another thing she may, and that cannot I help. Well, proceed.
Item, she hath more hair than wit, and more thoughts than her heirs, and more wealth than thoughts.
Stop there. I'll have her. She was mine and not mine twice or thrice in that last article. Rehearse that once more.
Item, she hath more hair than wit.
More hair than wit. It may be. I'll prove it. The cover of the salt hides the salt, and therefore it is more than the salt. The hair that covers the wit is more than the wit, for the greater hides the less. What's next?
And more thought than heirs.
That's monstrous. Oh, that were out.
And more wealth than thoughts.
And why, that word makes the faults gracious. Well, I'll have her. And if it be a match, as nothing is impossible,
What then?
why, then I will tell thee that thy master stays for thee at the north gate.
For me?
For thee? Aye. Who art thou? He hath stayed for a better man than thee.
And must I go to him?
Thou must run to him, for thou hast stayed so long that going will scarce serve the turn.
Why didst thou not tell me sooner? Pox of your love letters.
Now will he be swinged for reading my letter. An unmannerly slave that will thrust himself into secrets. I'll after to rejoice in the boy's correction.
Captain Thurio, fear not, but that she will love you now Valentine is banished from her sight.
Since his exile, she hath despised me most, forsworn my company, and railed at me, that I am desperate of obtaining her.
This weak empress of love is as a figure trenched in ice, which with an hour's heat dissolves to water and doth lose his form. Little time will melt her frozen thoughts, and worthless Valentine shall be forgot. How now, Captain Proteus? Is your friend, according to our proclamation, gone?
Gone, my lord.
My daughter takes his going grievously.
A little time, my lord, will kill that grief.
So I believe, but Thurio thinks not so. Proteus, the good conceit I hold of thee, for thou hast shown some sign of good desert, makes me the better to confer with thee.
Longer than I prove loyal to your grace, mate, let me not live to look upon your grace.
Thou knowst how willingly I would effect the match between Captain Thurio and my daughter.
I do, my lord.
And also I think thou art not ignorant how she opposes her against my will.
She did, my lord, when Valentine was here.
Aye, and perversely she persevers so. What might we do to make the girl forget the love of Valentine and love Thurio?
The best way is to slander Valentine with falsehood, cowardice, and poor descent. 3 things that women highly hold in hate.
Aye, but she'll think that it is spoken in hate.
Aye, if his enemy deliver it. Therefore, it must with circumstance be spoken by one whom she esteemeth as his friend.
And you must undertake to slander him.
And that, my lord, I shall be loath to do. 'Tis an ill office for a gentleman, especially against his very friend.
Where your good word cannot advantage him, your slander never can damage him. Therefore, the office is indifferent, being entreated to it by your friend.
You have prevailed, my lord. If I can do it by aught that I can speak in his dispraise, she shall not long continue to love him. But say this weed her love from Captain Valentine, it follows not that she will love Captain Thurio.
Therefore, as you unwind her love from him, lest it should ravel and be good to none, you must provide to bottom it on me, which must be done by praising me as much as you in worth dispraise Valentine.
And, Proteus, we dare trust you in this kind, because we know, on Valentine's report, you are already love's firm votary and cannot so revolt and change your mind. Upon this warrant, shall you have access, where you with Sylvia may confer at large, for she is lumpish, heavy, melancholy, and for your friend's sake will be glad of you, where you may temper her by your persuasion to hate Valentine and love my friend.
As much as I can do, I will effect. But you, Captain Thurio, are not sharp enough. You must lay lime to tangle her desires by wailful sonnets whose composed rhymes should be full fraught with serviceable vows.
Aye, much is the force of heaven-bred poesy.
Say that upon the altar of her beauty, you sacrifice your tears, your sighs, your heart, write till your ink be dry, and with your tears moist it again, and frame some feeling line that may discover such integrity. For Orpheus' lute was strung with poet's sinews, whose golden touch could soften steel and stones, make tigers tame, and huge leviathans forsake unsounded deeps to dance on sands. After your dire lamenting elegies, visit by night your lady's chamber window, with some sweet consort to their instruments. Tune a deploring dump. The night's dead silence will well become such sweet complaining grievance. This, or nothing else, will inherit her.
This discipline shows thou hast been in love.
And thy advice this night I'll put in practice. Therefore, sweet Proteus, my direction giver, let us into the city presently to sort some gentleman well skilled in music. I have a sonnet that will serve the turn to give the onset to the good advice.
About it, gentlemen.
We'll wait upon your grace till after supper, and afterward determine our proceedings.
Even now, about it. I will pardon you.
May stand fast. I see a ship.
If there be 10, shrink not, but put them down.
Sir, we're undone. These are the villains that old privateers do fear so much.
Stand, sir, and throw us that you have about you. If not, we'll make you sit and rifle you.
My friends.
That is not so. We are your enemies.
Peace.
I
Yes.
by my beard will we, for he is a proper man.
Then know that I have little wealth to lose. A man, I am crossed with adversity. The riches are this poor vessel, of which if you should here to furnish me, you take the sum and substance that I have.
Whither travel you?
Away!
Whence came you?
There, Port Royal.
The Pirate King's hold.
Have you long sojourned there?
Some 16 months. And longer might have stayed if crooked fortune had not thwarted me.
What? Were you banished thence?
I was.
For what offense?
For that which now torments me to rehearse. I killed a man whose death I much repent. But yet I slew him manfully in fight without false vantage or base treachery.
Why? Ne'er repent if it were done so. But were ye banished for so small a fault?
Especially round such a vicious killer as the Pirate King?
Was, and e'er held me glad of such a doom.
Have you the tons?
My youthful travel therein made me happy, or else I often had been miserable.
By the pure black of Blackbird's beard, this fellow were captain for our wild faction.
We'll have him. Sirs, a word.
Master, be one of them. It's an honorable kind of thievery.
Peace, villain.
Tell us this. Have you anything to take to?
Nothing but my fortune.
Know then that some of us are gentlemen, such as the fury of ungoverned youth thrust from the company of awful men. Myself was from the colonies banished for practicing to steal away a lady, an heir, and near allied unto the governor.
And I from Mantua, for a gentleman who in my mood I stabbed in the heart.
And I for such like petty crimes as these, but to the purpose, for we cite our faults, that they may hold excused our lawless lives, and partly seeing you are beautified with goodly shape, and by your own report a linguist, and a man of such perfection as we do in our quality much want.
Indeed, because you are a banished man, therefore above the rest, we parley to you. And are you content to be our captain? To make a virtue of necessity and live as we do on the open sea?
What sayst thou? Wilt thou be our consort? Say aye, and be the captain of us all. We'll do thee homage and be ruled by thee, love thee as our commander and our king.
But if thou scorn our courtesy, thou walk'st the plank.
Thou shalt not live to brag what we have offered.
Take your offer, and we'll sail with you, provided that you do not do no outrages on unsullied women or poor passengers.
No, we detest such vile base practices. Come go with us. We'll bring thee to our cruise and show thee all the treasure we have got, which, with ourselves, all rest at thy dispose.
Huzzah!
Already have I been false to Valentine, and now must I be as unjust to Torio. Under the colour of commending him, I have accessed my own love to prefer. But Sylvia is too fair, too true, too holy to be corrupted with my worthless gifts. When I protest true loyalty to her, she twits me with my falsehood to my friend. When to her beauty I commend my vows, she bids me think how I have been forsworn in breaking faith with Julia, whom I loved. And notwithstanding all her sudden quips, the least whereof would quell a lover's hope, yet, spaniel-like, the more she spurns my love, the more it grows and fawneth on her still. But here comes Thurio. Now must we to her window and give some evening music to her ear.
How now, Sir Proteus, are you crept before us?
Aye, gentle Thurio, for you know that love will creep in service where it cannot go.
Aye, but I hope, sir, that you love not here.
Sir, but I do, or else I would be hence.
Who? Sylvia?
Aye, Sylvia, for your sake.
Oh, I thank you for your own. Now, gentlemen, let's tune, and to it lustily a while.
Come, listen a while, and you soon shall hear of a comely maiden, I do declare. Her father, he followed the smuggling trade, like a warlike hero, like a warlike hero, she was never afraid. With 2 loaded pistols she went on board, down by her side hung a glittering sword. In her belt 2 daggers well armed for war, stood the female smuggler, stood the female smuggler.
I must get a star.
They had not sailed long in the deep before they spied on that Turkish fleet. They are sea robbers, young Jane did cry. But she said to her father,
to her father, we will conquer them or die. Yeah.
They beat those robbers and saved their store, and they soon returned to old England's shore. With a keg of brandy she marched along. Did the female smuggler, did the female smuggler
sweetly sang a song.
Now, my young guest, methinks you're melancholy. I pray you, what is it?
Marry mine host, because I cannot be merry.
Come, we'll have you merry. I'll bring you where you shall have music and see the gentleman that you asked for.
But shall I hear him speak?
Aye, that you shall.
That will be music.
Hark, hark.
Is he among these?
Aye, but peace, let's hear him.
But the Commodore, all from the blockade, he said, surrender to that pretty maid. He said, surrender or you shall fall, said the female smuggler. Said the female smuggler.
I never heard
a bull.
Said then unto the Commodore, I will bravely fight for my father's store. She pulled the trigger and she shot him through. Did the female smuggler. Did
the female smuggler
and your father
flew.
She said then unto the Commodore, I will bravely fight. I've already done that bloody verse. Yar! But she was followed from the blockade, and in iron strong they put that fair maid. Next morning when she was brought forth to be tried, 'twas the female smuggler, 'twas the female smuggler, dressed just like a bride.
Oh, how now? Are you sadder than you were before? Oh, how do you, man? The music likes you not.
You mistake. The music likes me not. Musician likes me not.
Why, my pretty youth?
He plays false, father.
How? Out of tune on the strings?
Not so, but yet so false that he grieves my very heartstrings.
You have a quick ear.
Aye, I would if it makes me have a slow heart.
I perceive you delight not in music.
Not a whit when it jaws so.
Hark, What fine change is in the music.
Ah, that change is the spite.
You would have them always play but one thing.
I would always have one play but one thing. But host, doth this Sir Proteus that we talk on often result unto the gentlewoman?
I tell you what Lance's man told me. He loved her out of all, Nick.
Where is Lance?
He's gone to seek his dog, which tomorrow, by his master's command, he must carry for a present to his lady.
The Commodore, he then on her gazed, to see that fair one he was amazed. 'Twas there he found to his great surprise, 'twas the female smuggler. 'Twas
the female smuggler.
She had fought
She fought him in disguise.
The Commodore to the jury said, my mind won't let me persecute that maid. I will beg her pardon upon my knees, for she's a gallant maiden, for she's a gallant maiden. So pardon her if you please.
I will pardon her. Wise judge replied.
The Commodore, I will make her my bride. Now they lived happy forevermore. Did the female smuggler? Did the female smuggler?
The fine Commodore. Ah.
Stand aside, the company parts.
Sir Torio, fear not you. I will so plead that you shall say my cunning drift excels.
Oh, where meet we?
At St. Gregory's Well.
Farewell.
Madam, good even to your ladyship.
I thank you for your music, gentlemen. Who is that spake?
One lady, if you knew his pure heart's truth, you would quickly learn to know him by his voice.
Sir Proteus, as I take it?
Sir Proteus, gentle lady, and your servant.
What's your will?
That I may compass yours.
You have your wish. My will is even this, that I presently you hie you home to bed. Thou subtle, perjured, false, disloyal man, thinkest thou that I am so shallow, so conceitless, to be seduced by thy flattery? Well, that hast deceived so many with thy vows. Return, and make thy love amends. For me, by this pale queen of night, I swear I am so far from granting thy request that I despise thee for thy wrongful suit, and by intend to chide myself, even for this time I spend in talking to thee.
I grant, sweet love, that I did love a lady, but she is dead.
'Twere false if I should speak it, for I am sure she is not buried.
Say that she be, yet Valentine thy friend survives, to whom thyself art witness. I am betrothed. And art thou not ashamed to wrong him with thy importunancy?
I likewise hear that Valentine is dead.
And so suppose am I, for in his grave assure thyself my love is buried.
Sweet lady, let me rake it from the earth.
Go to thy lady's grave and call hers thence, or at least in her sepulture thine.
He heard not that.
Madam, if your heart be so obdurate, vouchsafe me yet your picture for my love, the picture that is hanging in your chamber. To that I'll speak, to that I'll sigh and weep, for since the substance of your perfect self is else devoted, I am but a shadow, and to your shadow will I make true love.
If it were a substance, you would sure deceive it and make it but a shadow, as am I.
I am very loath to be your idol, sir. But since your falsehood shall become you well to worship shadows and adore false shapes, send me in the morning, and send it to me in the morning, and I will send it. And so, good rest.
As wretches have o'er night that wait for execution in the morn.
Host, will you go?
Oh, by my Adam, I was fast asleep.
Pray you, where lies Sir Proteus?
Buried at my house. Trust me, I think 'tis almost day.
Not so, but it hath been the longest night that e'er I watched, and the most heaviest.
This is the hour that Madame Sylvia entreated me to call and know her mind. There's some great matter she'd employ me in. Madam,
Who calls?
your servant and your friend, one that attends your ladyship's command.
Captain Eglamour, 1,000 times good morrow.
As many worthy lady to yourself. According to your ladyship's impose, I am thus early come to know what service it is your pleasure to command me in.
O Eglamour, thou art a gentleman. Think not I flatter, for I swear I do not. Valiant, wise, remorseful, well accomplished. Thou art not ignorant what dear goodwill I bear unto the banished Valentine, nor how my father would enforce me to marry vain Thurio, whom my very soul abhorred. Thyself hast loved, and I've heard thee say no grief did ever come so near thy heart as when thy lady and thy true love died, upon whose grave thou vowedst pure chastity. Eglamour, I would go to Valentine, to the Verona, where I hear he makes sail. And for the ways are dangerous to pass, I do desire that thy worthy company, upon whose skill and power I repose. I do desire thee, even from a heart as full of sorrows as the seas of sands, to bear me company and go with me, if not to hide what I have said to thee, that I may venture to depart alone.
Madam, I much pity your grievance, which since I know they virtuously are placed, I give consent to go along with you. Reckon as little what betideth me as much as I wish all good be fortune you. When will you go?
This evening coming.
Where shall I meet you?
At Patrick's Tavern.
I will not fail your ladyship. Good morrow, gentle lady.
Good morrow, King Sir Eglamour.
No, it's crab. Hey, thanks. It's Lance. It's a long scene. Okay, you got time. Lance is drunk.
When a man's servant shall play the cur with him, look you, it goes hard. One that I brought up of a puppy, one that I saved from drowning when 3 or 4 of his blind brothers and sisters went to it. I have taught him even as one would say precisely, thus I would teach a dog. I was sent to deliver him as a present to Mistress Sylvia from my master. And I came no sooner into the dining chamber, but he steps me to her trencher and steals her capon's leg. Oh, 'tis a foul thing when a cur cannot keep himself in all companies. I would have, as one should say, one that takes upon him to be a dog indeed, to be, as it were, a dog in all things. If I had not had more than wit than he, to take a fault upon me that he did, I think verily he had been hanged for it. Sure as I live, he had suffered for it. You shall judge. He thrust me himself into the company of 3 or 4 gentleman-like dogs under the Duke's table. He had not been there, bless the mark, a pissing while, but all the chamber smelt him. It's the dog, says one. What cur is that, says another. What the rat, says the third. Hang him up, says the duke. I, having been acquainted with the smell before, knew it was crab. It goes me to the fellow that whips the dogs. Friend, quoth I, you mean to whip the dog? Ay, marry do I, quoth he. You do him the most more wrong, quoth I. 'Twas I did the thing you wot of. He makes me no more ado, but whips me out of the chamber. How many masters would do this for his servant? Hey, I'll be sworn I have sat in the stocks for puddings he hath stolen. Otherwise he had been executed. I have stood on the pillory for geese he hath killed. Otherwise he had suffered for it. Thou thinkest not of this now. Nay, I remember the trick you served me when I took my leave of Madam Sylvia. Did not I bid thee mark me, and do as I do? And didst thou see me heave up my leg and make water against the gentlewoman's farthingale? Didst thou ever see me do such a trick?
Sebastian is thy name. I like thee well, and will employ thee in some service presently.
In what you please, I'll do what I can.
I hope thou wilt. How now, you whoreson peasant? Where have you been these 2 days loitering?
Marry, sir, I carried Mistress Sylvia the dog you bade me.
And what says she to my little jewel?
Mary, she says your dog was a cur, and tells you curish thanks is good enough for such a present.
But she received my dog.
No, indeed she did not. Here have I brought him back again.
What? Didst thou offer her this from me?
Aye, sir. The other squirrel was stolen from me by the hangman's boys in the marketplace. And then I offered her mine own, who is a dog as big as 10 of yours, and therefore the gift the greater.
Go, get thee hence and find my dog again, or ne'er return again into my sight. Away, I say! Stayest thou to vex me here? A slave that still an end turns me to shame. Sebastian, I have entertained thee, partly that I have need of such a youth that can, with some discretion, do my business. For 'tis no trust in yond foolish lout, but chiefly for thy face and thy behaviour, which, if my augury deceive me not, witness good bringing up, fortune and truth. Therefore, know thou, for this I entertain thee. Go presently, and take this ring with thee. Deliver it to Madam Sylvia. She loved me well, delivered it to me.
Seems you loved her to leave her token. She is dead, belike.
Not so, I think she lives.
Alas.
Why criest thou, alas?
I cannot choose but pity her.
Therefore, wherefore shouldst thou pity her?
Because methinks that she loved you as well as you do love your lady Sylvia. She dreams on him that has forgot her love. You dote on her that cares not for your love. 'Tis pity love should be so contrary, and thinking on it makes me cry, alas.
Well, give her that ring, and therewithal this letter. That's her chamber. Tell my lady I claim the promise of her heavenly picture. Your message done, hie home unto my chamber, where thou shalt find me sad and solitary.
How many women would do such a message? Alas, oh Proteus, thou hast entertained a fox to be the shepherd of thy lambs. Alas, poor fool! Why do I pity him? That with his very heart despiseth me. Oh, because he loves her, he despiseth me. Oh, because I love him, I must pity him. This ring I gave him when he parted from me to bind him to remember my goodwill, and now am I unhappy messenger to plead for that which I would not obtain, to carry that which I would have refused, to praise his faith which I would have dispraised. I am my master's true confirmed love, but cannot be true servant to my master unless I prove false traitor to myself. Yet will I woo for him, but yet so coldly, as heaven knows, I would not have him speed. Gentlewoman, good day. Now pray you be by me. Bring me where to speak with Madam Sylvia.
What would you with her, if that I be she?
If you be she, I do entreat your patience to hear me speak the message I am sent on.
From whom?
From my master, Sir Proteus, madam.
Oh, sends you for a picture?
Aye, madam.
Ursula, bring my picture then. Go give your master this. Tell him for me, one Julia, that his changing thoughts forget would be better fit his chamber than his shadow.
Madam, please, you peruse his letter. Pardon me, madam, I have unadvised delivered you a paper that I should not. This is the letter to your ladyship.
I pray thee, let me look on it again.
It may not be good, madam, pardon me.
There, hold, I will not look upon your master's lines. I know they are stuffed with protestations and full of new-found oaths, which he will break as easily as I do tear his paper.
Madam, he sends your ladyship this ring.
Oh, then more shame for him that he sends it to me, for I have heard him say 1,000 times his Julia gave it to him, gave it at his departure, though his false finger had profaned the ring. Mine shall not do his Julia so much wrong.
She thanks you.
Why, what sayest thou?
I thank you, madam, that you tender her. Poor gentlewoman, my master wrongs her much.
Dost thou know her?
Almost as well as I do know myself. To think upon her woes, I do protest that I have wept 100 several times.
Belike she thinks that Proteus hath forsook her?
I think she doth, and that's her cause of sorrow.
Is she not passing fair?
Oh, she hath been fairer, madam, than she is. When she did think my master loved her well, she, in my judgment, was as fair as you, but since she did not neglect her looking glass, she threw her sun-expelling mask away. The air hath starved the roses in her cheeks and pinched the lily tincture of her face, that now she has become as black as I.
How tall was she?
About my stature, for at Pentecost, when all our pageants of delight were played, our youth brought me to play the woman's part, and I trimmed in Madame Julia's gown, which served me as fit by all men's judgments, as if the garment had been made for me, and therefore I know she is about my height. And at that time I made her weep a good, for I did play a lamentable part, madam. 'Twas Ardine, passioning for Theseus's perjury and unjust flight, which I so lively acted with my tears that poor mistress moved therewithal, wept bitterly, and would I might be dead if I in thought felt not for her very sorrow.
She is beholding to thee, gentle youth. Alas, poor lady, desolate and bereft, I weep myself to think upon thy words. Here, youth, there's my purse. I give thee this for thy sweet mistress's sake, because thou lovest her. Farewell.
And she shall thank you for it after you know her. A virtuous gentlewoman, mild and beautiful. I hope my master's suit will be but cold, since she respects my mistress's love so much. Alas, how love can trifle with itself. Here is her picture. Let me see. I think if I had such attire, this face of mine were full as lovely as is this of hers, and yet the painter flatters her a little, unless I flatter with myself too much. Her hair is auburn, mine is perfect yellow. If that be all the difference in his love, I'll get me such a coloured periwig. Oh, her eyes as grey as glass. Oh, so mine. Ay, but her forehead's low and mine's as high. Oh, what should it be that he respects in her, but I can make respected in myself? If this fond love were not a blinded god. Oh, come, shadow, come and take the shadow up, for 'tis thy rival. Oh, thou senseless form, thou shalt be worshipped, kissed, loved, and adored. And were there sense in his idolatry, my substance should be statue in thy stead. I'll use thee kindly for thy mistress's sake, that used me so. Oh, else, by Jove, I vow, I should have scratched out your unseen eyes to make my master out of love with thee.
The sun begins to gild the western sky, and now is all about that very hour that Sylvia at Friar Patrick's cell should meet me. She will not fail, for lovers fail break not hours, unless it be to come before their time, so much they spur their expedition. See where she comes. Lady, a happy evening.
Amen, amen. Go on, good Eglamour. Out at the postern by the abbey wall. I fear I am attended by some spies.
Fear not, lady. The forest is not 3 leagues off. If we recover that, we are sure enough.
Sir Proteus, what says Sylvia to my suit?
Oh, sir, I find her milder than she was, and yet she takes exception at your person.
What? That my leg is too long?
No, that is too little.
Oh, I'll wear a boot to make it somewhat rounder.
I will not be spurred to what it loathes.
What says she to my face?
She says it is a fair one.
Nay, then the wanton lies. My face is black.
But pearls are fair, and the old saying is, black men are pearls in beauteous ladies' eyes.
'Tis true. Such pearls as put out ladies' eyes, for I'd rather wink than look on them.
How likes she my discourse?
Ill when you talk of war.
But well when I discourse of love and peace.
But better indeed when you hold your peace.
What says she to my valour?
Oh, sir, she makes no doubt of that.
She needs not when she knows it's cowardice.
What says she to my birth?
That you are well derived.
From a gentleman to a fool.
Considers she my possessions?
Oh, I am pities them.
Wherefore?
That such an ass should owe them.
That they are out on lease.
Oh. Here comes the Duke.
How now, Sir Proteus? How now, Ariel? Which of you saw Eglamour of late?
Not I.
Nor I.
Saw you my daughter?
Neither.
Then she's fled unto that dick swabber Valentine. That is in her company. 'Tis true, for Captain Lawrence saw them both as he sailed through the Penn Seas. Him he knew well and guessed that it was she, but being masked, he was not sure of it. Therefore, I pray you stand not to discourse, but fly upon your sails presently, and meet with me upon the horizon of the sea. Whither are they fled? Dispatch, sweet gentlemen, and follow me.
Why, this it is to be a peevish girl that flies her fortune when it follows her. I'll after, more to be revenged on Eglamour than for the love of reckless Sylvia.
And I will follow, more for Sylvia's love than hate of Eglamour that goes with her.
And I will follow, more to cross that love than hate for Sylvia. That is gone for love.
Come, come, be patient. We must bring you to the captain.
1,000 more mischances than this one have learned me how to brook this patiently.
Come, bring her away.
Where is that man that was with her?
Being nimble-footed, he hath outrun us. But Moises and Valerius caught him, and now he'll walk the plank. There is our captain. Come, let's watch.
Come, I must bring you to our captain's cabin. Fear not, he bears an honorable mind, and will not use a woman lawlessly.
Oh, Valentine, this I endure for thee.
How doth breed a habit in man? This shadowy desert, unfrequented woods, I bet a brook than flourishing peopled towns. Here can I sit alone, unseen of any, and to the nightingale's complaining notes tune my distresses and record my woes. Ah, oh, thou that dost inhabit my breast, leave not the mansion so long tenantless, lest, growing ruinous, the building fall and leave no memory of what it was. Repair me with thy presence, Sylvia. Thou gentle nymph, cherish thy forlorn swain. What hallowing and what stir is this today? These are my mates that make their wills their law and have some unhappy passenger in the chase. They love me well, yet I have much to do to keep them from uncivil outrages. Who's this come here?
Madam, this service I have done for you, though you respect not aught your servant doth, to hazard life and rescue you from him that would have forced your honour and your love. Vouchsafe me for my meed but one fair look. A smaller boon than this I cannot beg, and less than this I am sure you cannot give.
Oh, miserable, unhappy that I am.
Unhappy were you, madam, ere I came, but by my coming I have made you happy.
By thy approach thou makest me most unhappy.
And me, when he approacheth to your presence?
Had I been seized by a hungry shark, I would have been breakfast to the beast rather than have false Proteus rescue me. Heaven be judge how I love Valentine, whose life is as tender to me as my soul. and as full as much, for there cannot be anything I do detest false perjured Proteus. Therefore be gone, solicit me no more.
What dangerous action! Stood it next to death, would I not undergo for one calm look? Oh, 'tis the curse in love and still approved, when women cannot love where they're beloved.
When Proteus cannot love where he's beloved, read over Julia's heart thy first best love, for whose dearer sake than thou didst then rend thy faith into 1,000 oaths, and all those oaths descended into perjury to love me. Thou hast no faith left now, unless thou'st two, and that's far worse than none. Better have none than plural faith, which is too much by one. Thou counterfeit to thy true friend.
In love, who respects friend?
All men but Proteus.
Nay, if the gentle spirit of moving words can no way change you to a milder form, I'll woo you like a sailor at arm's end, and love you against the nature of love. Force you.
Oh heaven!
I'll force thee yield to my desire.
Ruffian, let go that rude uncivil touch, thou friend of a nail fashion.
Valentine.
Thou common friend, that's without faith or love, for such is a friend now. Treacherous man, thou hast beguiled my hopes, not but mine eye could have persuaded me. How I dare not say I have one friend alive. Thou wouldst disprove me. Who should be trusted when one's right hand is perjured to the bosom? Proteus, I am sorry I must never trust thee more. Recount the world a stranger for thy sake. The private wound is deepest. Time most accursed, amongst all foes that a friend should be the worst.
Why, shame and guilt confounds me. Forgive me, Valentine, if hearty sorrow be a sufficient ransom for offence. I tender it here. I do as truly suffer as e'er I did commit.
Then I am paid. And once again I do receive the honest, who by repentance is not satisfied, is nor of heaven nor earth, for these are pleased. My penitence of Poseidon's wrath unpeased, and that my love may appear plain and free, all that was mine in Sylvia I give thee.
Oh, me unhappy.
Look to the boy.
Why, boy, why wag? How now? What's the matter? Look up. Speak.
Oh, good sir, my master charged me to deliver a ring to Madam Sylvia, which out of my neglect was never done.
Where is that ring, boy?
It is. This is it.
How? Let me see. Why, this is the ring I gave to Julia.
Oh, cry you mercy, sir, I have mistook. This is the ring you sent to Sylvia.
But how camest thou by this ring? At my depart, I gave this unto Julia.
And Julia herself did give it to me, and Julia herself have brought it hither.
How? Julia!
Behold her, that gave aim to all thy oaths and entertained them deeply in her heart. How oft hast thou with perjury cleft the root? Oh, Proteus, let this habit make thee blush. Be thou ashamed that I have took upon me in a disguise of love. It is a lesser blot. Modesty binds women to change their shapes than men their minds.
And men their minds. 'Tis true. Oh, heaven, were man but constant, he were perfect. In that one error, fills him with faults, makes him run through all the sins. Inconstancy falls off ere it begins. what is in Sylvia's face, but I must espy more fresh in Julia's with a constant eye.
Come, come, a hand from either. Let me be blessed to make this happy close. 'Twere pity two such friends should be long foes.
Bear witness, heaven, I have my wish forever.
And I mine.
A prize! A prize! A prize!
Forbear, I say, 'tis my lord the king. Your grace is welcome to a man disgraced. Banished Valentine.
Sir Valentine.
Yonder is Sylvia, and Sylvia is mine.
Thurio, give back, or else embrace thy death. Come not within the measure of my wrath. Do not name Sylvia thine, if once again Verona shall not hold thee. Here she stands. Take but possession of her with a touch. I dare thee to breathe upon my love.
Sir Valentine, I care not for her. I hold him but a fool that will endanger his body for a girl that loves him not. I claim her not, and therefore she is thine.
The more degenerate and base art thou, to make such means for her as thou hast done, and leave her on such slight conditions. Now, by the honor of my ancestry, I do applaud thy spirit, Valentine, and think thee worthy of an empress' love. Know then, I here forget all former griefs, cancel all grudge, repeal thee home again, plead a new state in thy unrivaled merit to which I thus subscribe. Sir Valentine, thou art a gentleman and well derived. Take thou thy Sylvia, for thou hast deserved her.
I thank your grace. The gift hath made me happy. I now beseech you for your daughter's sake to grant one boon that I shall ask of you.
I grant it for thine own, whate'er it be.
These banished men that I have kept withal are men endued with worthy qualities. Forgive them what they have committed here, and let them be recalled from their exile. They are reformed, civil, full of good, and fit for great employment, worthy lord.
Thou hast prevailed. I pardon them and thee. Dispose of them as thou knowst their deserts. Come, let us go, and we will include all jars with triumphs, mirth, and rare solemnity.
And as we walk along, I dare be bold with our discourse to make your grace to smile. What think you of this deckhand, my lord?
I think the boy hath grace in him. He blushes.
I warn you, my lord, more grace than boy.
What mean you by that saying?
Please you, I'll tell you as we pass along, that you will wonder what hath fortunate. Come, Proteus, 'tis your penance but to hear the story of your loves discovered. That done, what our day of marriage shall be yours. One feast, one house, one mutual happiness.